He answered all my questions. That's why I was like, man, I'm cool.
It's funny because
Lucky,
you
lucky,
already, you know
lucky,
everybody
lucky,
in the business.
lucky podcast. Brought to you by Onora Whisky. It's the Onora boys. OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, make sure that you drink responsibly. Yeah, we got some things to get into. Sleepers. Yo.
Sleepers.
See, you a big time recruit.
Okay.
You weren't like a normal college kid like I was. Did you ever play sleepers in college?
No.
So you know what it is, though.
No.
Okay, I'll break it down for you. So,
okay,
University of Illinois. I go down for I go down to visit the campus. Maybe like a month before, like in June, right? And I signed up for my classes, talked to some administrators, talked to some counselors, and I'm staying in the dorms, right? Tour the campus, and I stay in the dorms for 2 nights, right?
Right.
And so we meet up, me and my boys from the city that I knew. We meet up, we meet some girls, and we're all on the same floor kicking it. And it's this game called Sleepers. So you have the dudes in one room and the girls in another room, right?
Okay.
So you go into the room, and the job of each room is to seduce the person that comes in the room.
This is crazy.
To get them to do whatever you want. Now, mind you, you're catching college freshmen, right? So imagine as a freshman walking into a room and it's 5, 6 girls that are like gorgeous, right? And you're blindfolded and they whisper in your ear, it's something that you want to take off really bad. Take it off. And you would be surprised how many people take off all of their clothes before they realize it's the actual blindfold. It is literally a mind game, dude.
Wow.
It's a mind game. Now, I have to admit, I took my shoes off and I took my belt off. And then I realized, and this whole time they're doing stuff like blowing on your ear, kissing you on your neck. It's just, it is a mind game of the greatest. It is crazy.
It's real crazy.
Yeah, and it's a tradition at Illinois.
Wow.
It's a tradition. I don't know if it's still going on, but it had been going on for like years.
Wow. We ain't had nothing like that.
Like literally everybody was like, yo, did you play sleepers on your trip? Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we
man. Yeah.
And
it's kind of like an icebreaker, right?
That's right.
Most of the girls are upperclassmen that are like tour guides, during the day. And so you see them, and when you see them
that night,
when you see them during the school year, now you feel comfortable speaking to them because it's like, yo, we already had the sleepers icebreaker, so I'm mad comfortable.
We're straight. Yeah, we're straight.
Mad comfortable talking to you guys right now. So, man, let's talk sleepers, right? And then we're going to ask the question, will there ever be a day where we get high school straight to the NFL? Guys. And then from there,
great question.
Because the rule is you have to be a junior to go ahead and enter the NFL draft. Was Jalen Smith ready to go after his sophomore year? See, that's the question.
Yeah, 100%.
You think 100% he was ready to go?
First time I saw Jalen practice, he was ready to go. He's the man.
Do you think he could have gone straight to the NFL?
After his sophomore year. But, at the end of the day, it's there's kids that are built like Zion in the football world that could go their freshman year, damn near senior year to the NFL from a physicality standpoint.
Yeah.
Evan Neal, the tackle from Alabama that got drafted first round,
Yeah.
at IMG, he
Yeah.
could have been the first round tackle. At IMG as an 18-year-old senior.
Yeah.
So 100%, I think there's a chance for that, but we'll get into it.
Man, look. Also, want you guys to keep in mind, Friday, 10:30, big announcement. Huge announcement concerning Lucky Lefty podcast. You don't want to miss it. I promise you, you don't want to miss it.
I want to.
Lucky Lefty podcast, huge announcement on Friday, 10:30. For all of you that try to catch the show later, you need to be here live. You need to be live with us on Friday.
Gotta be.
10:30. So, bro, we're going to do sleepers offensively and defensively. And when we talk sleepers, we're talking about guys that are not the household names, not the Maris Leofow's, not the guys that we expect to be the stars, not the Tyler Butlers, but they're the unsung heroes, people that are being slept on, that we think are going to end up having fantastic seasons or making an impact for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as they begin fall camp on Friday. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. And, we had to really debate if this guy was being slept on. But I know he's one of your favorite players, bro. He's one of your favorite players, and we start with number 24, the Incredible Hulk, Audric Estime. Why do you believe he's a sleeper?
I think he's only a sleeper because of inexperience. I believe his ability right now, just if you look at him from a physical stature, I knew from last year that he had something about him. Mm-hmm. And any guy that can come into college looking like that is something that's going to be a force in college at some point. I'm thinking A.J. Dillon, that type of stature. I remember A.J. Dillon his freshman year when he was the only player on Boston College. It felt like when we played him, because, he had 2,000 yards felt like playing with 9 people on offense. So
thanks.
Audric Estime's physicality stands out to the point where I expect him to do great, but because of inexperience, it makes him a sleeper.
Yeah, you're right. LL Nation is correct. He did change his number to number 7. Look, I get it, right? The offensive line is going to be so vital with this guy's running style, right? You have the finesse runners, you have the speed runners. This dude is the perfect mix, right? Where he can punish, like he's that type of guy that we normally talk about that plays running back at Alabama or Wisconsin, right? Like don't let him get a running start. Like if you let him come downhill, it's a wrap, which bodes well, right? Because then it teases your linebackers, specifically your interior linebackers, to cheat, to stop him from getting downhill. And then the next thing you know, RPO, boom, Michael Mayer, right behind the linebackers, or a deep post or a deep end to Braden Lindsay or one of the other guys, or someone on a crossing route. I really think at the end of the day, he might end up being the biggest unsung hero of the season.
But he fits so well into the narrative. Marcus Freeman talks about physicality in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Audric Estime is the embodiment of what Marcus Freeman is looking for this season, which means it's going to be a big factor of downhill football. I believe Logan Diggs can play a part if he remains healthy, But from a physical stature, Marcus Freeman and what he wants, Aldrich Estime and what he has, and Dylan McCullum, what he has in that running back room,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to make them successful with the offensive line. So that's where we talk about percentages of the football of offensively. It's going to be that those guys up front and that guy next to Tyler Buckner.
And then on top of that, protection, right? Chris Tyree is a little slight, so you start thinking about blitz protection, pickups, right? And you feel a little bit more comfortable because, I mean, technique, the smallest guys can be. Ward Dunn was one of the best blitz pickup running backs of all time. Like, you watch his NFL film, even though he's slightly built, you know what I mean? DeWard Dunn was a solid dude.
Very
he just
solid.
happened to be short. So linebackers would come up the middle off the edge, and he would get them stymied all the time. And I just feel really confident with the way I've watched him in practice. He's very solid in blitz pickup as well. And for a first-time quarterback, especially early in the season, that's going to be something that you think Tyler Buckner is going to need a running back or running backs to have his back.
Yeah, when in doubt, you're going to have to build the fortress up to protect if it's 7-man or, 6-man football up front with protection. You're going to need your tight ends and your running back sticking in there.
Yeah.
And we have big bodies for that. We have smaller guys like Chris Tyree who can be outside the hash type of guys. But in the middle of the field, you have guys that are solid enough that can hold up to max protect if we can't protect just big on big up front. So I think the way Tommy Rees allows Tyler Buckner to protect himself and maybe changing protections or maybe having Patterson calling a protection for him.
Yeah.
Whatever that way is, if you can figure that out first, then you can play. But if you can't protect yourself, it's going to be hard for Tyler Buckner to do anything.
Let's go to the next unsung hero, sleeper. These are your guys. It's funny how this list is like your guys that you fell in love with over the spring. Jaden Thomas. And you saw it in the spring game. He was someone that they focused on getting the ball in his hands. Quick screen, jet sweeps, passing game in the slot. They were focused on getting the ball to a guy that they envisioned as a playmaker in this offense. Jaden Thomas, man, he could be that guy that we've been asking from the wide receiver room to step up. Like, somebody else needs to step up. Jaden Thomas could be one of those biggest sleepers.
Jaden Thomas in that perfect position from a year standpoint. He's right at that cusp of he's not too fresh like a Rico Flores, Tobias Merriweather. He's got enough time to where he can pop on the scene and surprise a lot of defenses. So when he gets the ball, it's going to be in situations where he's unexpected almost, but he can, with his talent, he can make those explosive plays that can develop into a more solid role for the offense. And I think it could be a good comfort level for Tyler Buckner to fall on in case teams start harping on Michael Mayer and Lorenzo Styles a lot more during later in the season.
And the one thing about him is that it's so easy to go ahead and get him the ball because of the guys that you have, because of a Michael Mayer, because of a Lorenzo Styles Jr. Like, you can go ahead and get that quick screen. You can go ahead and get that jet sweep because it's not really expected, right? As the season wanes and you start to get more film, teams might identify Jaden Thomas when he's in a certain position and say, okay, look out for this. But early on, like you said, he's that guy that really has not been exposed yet. So he has the opportunity to jump on the scene and make an impact, especially early in the season. And then once he establishes his name, you get teams having to look for him as well. It really opens up the entirety of that Notre Dame offense.
It does. And the key, too, is the fact that we're going to be challenged a lot in the one-on-one space because a lot of teams don't believe we have the guys on the outside of the football. So if we don't have the speed or the tenacity on the outside. We're going to see a lot of one-on-ones. So this gives a lot of opportunity for Jaden Thomas to win one-on-ones in the slot, one-on-ones on the outside to take that third corner. You know, a lot of attention is going to be on Michael Mayer. It's going to be brackets. It's going to be all type of double teams. Lorenzo Styles, the season goes to grow on. They know about him. They're going to have some double teams and safety coverage. So one-on-ones with Jaden Thomas is going to be very important in third down situations. And it doesn't have to be the Braden Lindsey down the field post or go route. It can just be a slant. It could just be the out route. It could just be the third progression in the play where he has to be able to get himself open and make a play. From a talent standpoint, he's top, I would say top 3 in the room from an overall talent standpoint. And that, for being a guy who hasn't been exposed yet, for guys to game plan against him, I think that's going to be a good thing for Tyler Buckner in the offense.
Now, our next sleeper is rare, right? Because we've been talking about individuals, but we're literally about to talk about the other tight ends. Yes, we have a first-round pick, one of the top tight ends in the nation, if not the best tight end in the nation, and Michael Mayer. But our sleepers are the entire tight end room. Like, there is talent outside of Michael Mayer. Notre Dame is tight end U for a reason. Don't sleep. Eli Raritan, if he's healthy coming back from his ACL. Holden Stays, impact guys, a freshman. Mitchell Evans has put together a fantastic spring. Coaching staff is loving it, loving him and what he's done. You watched him in the second half of the season, he started to come on. And Kevin Bowden and Cade Barone.
If you think about it, the tight end on every level of football, the tight end, if they're good, has always been an integral part of the team. Run game, pass game. You see him on special teams. You'll see him on kick and punt, and you'll see him everywhere.
Yeah.
A great tight end is a foundational piece to a great program. We're a great program because we have foundational pieces at tight end and offensive line every year. And those guys have been productive at the next level every time. Every time. So the thing that we love the most is that those are the biggest comfort blankets for a quarterback because they stay in the middle of the field. They're a big target. And hell, if you get an athletic one, it's a threat. And we always have threats at that tight end position that really focuses a lot of defenses in the middle of the field. That's why we get explosive plays and runs on the outside and deep balls on the outside because you can't let us just one-on-one you to death with the tight end. And having a staple of guys learning from a guy like Michael Mayer, who learned from a guy like Cole Kmet, who learned from a guy like Brock Wright, the list goes on and on. That's how you develop a pipeline. So even if Michael Mayer goes in 3, we got 2 or 3 ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, when Tommy Tremble was here, him and Cole was ready to go whenever.
Yeah.
So that's our bread and butter right there.
No, shout out to Tommy Tremble, who is still the life of the party. He was at Notre Dame and with the Carolina Panthers. If you watch their social media feed, he is still just out there running his mouth constantly on the football field during practices. And look, Mitchell Evans had a great spring, man. He just really did. He had a great spring. And then unfortunately, late June, doing workout, hurts his foot. They performed surgery. I believe it was like early July, first week of July. And they say he's going to be back 6 to 8. So hopefully they get him back towards the end of camp. And if not in the camp, week 3, week 4, he'll be back in the mix. But there's plenty of talent in that tight end room. Plenty of talent.
State said from Snowfall, bodies and bodies and bodies and bodies. We got them.
Facts. So I just thought that was interesting as we talked about it. Like we were mentioning guys, and it's like, you know what? We just can't focus on one tight end. This is just the entire tight end room. Everybody. They're being slept on because everyone is so focused on Michael Mayer No one else is talking about the other tight end, right?
Who could damn near start anywhere else they wanted to, if they wanted to.
Facts. So that's a great question. Brian Loftus with the great question in the chat. Who has better depth, the tight ends or the linebackers?
Probably the linebackers because they're young, but the tight ends are just like your armed forces. It's like the Marines. You only need 3 or 4 on special ops. You know what I'm saying? But those 3 or 4 are some bad mofos now. Where the tight ends, where the linebackers are more, your cavalry, your meat and potatoes. Your tight ends and how we've been able to have so much success. Those are the cream of the crop. Those are the Omaha steaks of steaks. So with the linebackers, you got some hit and misses in there. I'm not gonna say hit and misses. Let's say you got degrees and levels of talent. But in that tight end room, that's a standard. It's like on Madden. You can't even get in the tight end room if you're not a 90 overall starting out. If you're not a 90 overall as a recruit coming into the school, you can't even come to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But as a linebacker group, you can float. We got some curves in there and some. We'll take a range, an average. But in the tight end room, that's 90 and above.
I will say this though.
You can get in there.
If you're gonna play that second tight end in Notre Dame, you better be ready to block, bro.
You better be ready.
We already have a pass catcher. You better be able to block. First and foremost, especially with Harry Heastand back. Like, all right, if you miss something, he's gonna let you know.
Get on you too now. Yeah. If you put that head in the dirt on offense, Heastand gonna let you know about something.
Let's see. Yeah, Holden Stace. That's an interesting comment. And once again, guys, thank you for the comments, super chats. We'll get to a little bit of that in a second. Offensively, when we talk about all of these sleepers, we came to the conclusion, bro, that this Notre Dame team might be a little bit more offensively talented than we might have thought. Now, it's about the spotlight, especially for you. The spotlight is on Tommy Rees. Like, we know you're not backing off. I've given him a clean slate.
He's on the hot seat.
Hot seat for you.
The hot seat.
It's understandable. First time quarterback. Whomever wins the position battle.
That's why you're on the hot seat, because we gotta answer stuff like that. You getting paid tons of money, and you getting all this tons of attention for being boy wonder. How you gonna have a quarterback battle and you boy wonder of offense? What they do in San Francisco? They said, look, we sat down with Jimmy and we told him, look, we about to go with Trey. I don't really know, what you about to do. But over here, we go with Trey. This is what it is. I'm sorry. And they gonna rock with that way. So I feel like if you a boy wonder, you should be making decisions that are seamless, because you're gonna make it work with your system, period.
You like that first week? That matchup, Trey versus Justin? You like that? Justin's gonna kill him. No, let's not even. They're not gonna win a game, but Justin's gonna have the better game. Facts. I can't believe I just said an Ohio State quarterback is gonna have a better day. You guys forgive me, especially where we sit just a month out from going up to the horseshoe. I shouldn't be applauding anything connected to Ohio State.
Hey, look, the Bears been putting out a lot of social media content like they something to watch.
There's nothing else. Hey, look, let me tell you something. Well, we'll get to this in the petty train, bro. Hey, this is why I'm gonna have to put the NFL on the petty train once again, dude. Just the entire league. They might get a monthly ticket. Just go back and forth on the petty train. Can we go over to the defensive side of the ball?
We should.
It's hard, man. Because I'll give you an example. like we discussed Riley Mills being a sleeper, but then we were like, I don't think people are really sleep on Riley Mills.
No, they're not.
I think people kind of see it coming. Right?
He's like a lightweight, lightweight Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
You know, like he could, if you look too quick, that's a little Nickish, a little Joey-ish. You know, a little Joey in him. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say he's a sleeper. I just say, you know, your ass better be ready because we want you to be ready because we're counting on you. You know what I'm saying? We're counting on you.
So we'll go to someone else. Jason Onye. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get because they are deep at defensive tackle.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, man. That's a big boy. Matt Balis, Matt Balis, you did your thing. LL Nation, just in your Google search right now, just type in Jason Onye, Notre Dame, and a picture of him on his high school recruiting trip will pop up. And when you look at that picture and you look at what he is today, he is a physical monster, and still quick as a cat. Mm-hmm. Still quick as a cat. Just big, long arms. And literally you're watching and you're like, who in the heck is 47?
Yeah.
And you start looking at your media guy, you're like, Jason Onye.
Like, oh, we got a team full of odd numbers that can.
Dude. And you're like, this dude, he keeps making plays.
That's right.
Right? If he doesn't get the sack, he's rushing the throw. Right?
That's right.
If he doesn't get the tackle, he's forcing the running back to make an extra move, and then the linebackers are crashing the show.
Yeah.
And you're watching this kid, and it was amazing because he came in and he was always next to Tyson Ford. Look, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When both of those kids get to that peak, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be really nasty on the interior of that defensive line for Notre Dame. Like, the future is bright. But I'm telling you now, Jason Onye has a chance this year.
But I think a real sleeper, though, you know, a guy that's been counted out just because there's been talent around is Howard Cross.
You know what?
That's a sleeper.
I would literally combine him and Lacey together.
Okay.
Because they get overlooked because of their size.
Yeah. But those are playmakers, though.
They disrupt constantly. And look, there's talent on the inside that is coming.
It's coming.
And if they don't get snaps, it's because, look, Howard Cross was that good in the spring.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be
that good. He was that good. So,
and that's what's going to be great about this year's team is because of the talent on offensive line, defensive line is competitive enough to where they're going to make each other better that in ways that teams we play won't. Right? So you taking on Howard Crosses, Riley Mills, Onye's, Fauski's every day.
Yeah.
You're not getting that on every team. There might be a team with a Fauski on it, you know, a Riley here and there. That might be their best D lineman. You're getting 4 or 5 guys, and then we bring in Tyson Ford with it.
Yeah.
Just to sprinkle that on it. Yeah. See what you do with that, you know, and I think that's what's going to be real interesting is that how is it going to play with the D-line coach? What's the rotation? Because we're running the 3-4 if I still get it right. Like we only putting
multiple. That's what Al Golden.
Okay. See, we got to
look, I'm only referencing this because of Al Golden. I don't think too much of their defense, but I'm only referencing it. The Cincinnati Bengals because of Al Golden.
Yeah. And you saw what he did with DJ Reader. Shout out to my boy DJ Reader, made him an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. And
the work you did with their linebackers. Let's be honest. The linebackers aren't exactly household names.
Yeah, you're not gonna remember them after this next couple of years. However, they played well together. But shoot, how many linebackers we gonna remember from this class or this year's team? Because they're all. I mean, Prince Collie. We ain't talked about my boy in a minute, but that's how many linebackers we got.
Go ahead and segue, bro, because that definitely is the next sleeper on the linebacker unit. Prince Collie. And that's because the buzz has been about Junior Tuilamaka.
Which is fair, because he's a beast.
Which is absolutely. Absolutely. But Prince Collie is someone that we were waiting for to get
last year. Yeah.
We were like, yo, why isn't he getting the opportunity? He should. But now, once again, just stupid depth, dude. Stupid depth.
Crazy
at
depth.
The linebacker position. Like, I keep telling people, like, everybody's like, man, Notre Dame's talent. I'm like, look.
Because what they going? Because who do you even think gonna start?
I think Bo is going to start because Bo is a
Bo gotta start. Okay.
Bo's gonna be one of your 1A, 1B guys.
He gonna have to be in the mix.
Maris is going to start.
Maris in there. Okay, that's two. That's a Mike and a Will, maybe, or
and
Mike.
You have Prince and Junior that are going to get snaps, and we haven't even gotten to JD, who was hurt in the spring. Yeah. Kaiser, which we tip our caps to both of those guys. Like, regardless of what you think about them late in the season, the production you got from them, big picture, really good.
A lot. We was talking about JD a lot in that Purdue game. He was like, he's the only one making tackles out there, and he flying down recklessly, kicking butt.
Yeah.
So
now you can say what you want to say about Drew White. I think Maris is going to be an upgrade.
But they're not going to keep Drew out either. I mean,
he's gone. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? He's gone. I don't know. Did he get signed as a free agent? I thought he did. But with him being out, it was a similar situation, and we talked to a lot of people about where we felt like Niles Morgan should have been playing. Yeah, Drew White is with the Washington Commanders. He's with the Commanders.
That fits.
He's with the Commanders. And he's going to make the squad because he's just a solid.
He just is going to make the squad.
Underrated. You don't think he's as athletic as he is. He's going to go in there and make the squad.
He's just going to make the squad. He's going to be on the team. And then you'll just hear a couple things. Jack Del Rio might come out one day and be like, oh, that Drew White kid, I love him. He's great. Runs the show real well,
So, like you said, I expect great things from Prince Collie. It's just, you feel comfortable, don't you? Like, if Kaiser and Bertrand had to come off the field or Bo had to come off the field, it's like you didn't know with the linebackers, right? Because our starters struggle.
Yeah, our starters are struggling.
Right. But you feel a lot more confident with the 1A, the 1Bs. I feel confident with the 2s from a talent standpoint.
Yeah, I think the confidence comes from the fact that we got a bunch of guys who don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of talent. So if you throw it in there, you don't know what can happen, but it can also spur competition. It can spur and push the room to be better because you got the wild ones coming up, and the ones that are more established can be motivated, and it can be a good mix of the two. So if you send one of the veterans out, you put one of the ones that are young and coming up, they may go in there and splash for a couple plays, give a breather or two.
Yeah.
It's better than knowing what you got coming in where you're like, he got to take some time. Any of these young guys can play on on the big lights under the big lights. In that group of which we got them, and in the trust of what Al Golden is putting guys in, I find it hard for guys coming in not feeling comfortable enough to make some splash plays. So that's where my confidence comes. We got the coaching staff. That's one part. Guy just came off Super Bowl. So them linebackers don't learn nothing. And I mean, we can't do no better than that. Good grief. So coaching's there. And your head coach is a linebacker. So it ain't no excuse.
Yeah.
And then you got James Laurinaitis just in case you don't like those two opinions, you go get another one.
Yeah.
So no excuse on linebackers from the coaching side. The second side is that you got the players, you got the talent. We got speed, which I feel like we lacked. And we got depth, which I feel like we lacked. So on paper, we got that. We could check that box. And then lastly, the young and inexperienced mixed with guys that were on the cusp of coming off of being young.
Yeah.
JD was more of a splash for me because I didn't really know who he was. Now, a year of putting in a lot of good work on top of leading younger guys that are maybe more talented, I think that's what you want on a development standpoint for them playing together well.
One of the great things is energy that's changed in the program, energy that has changed in the practices that we've heard consistently from Notre Dame coaches and players. This is why I would not put Jaden Mickey down as a sleeper. No one is. He won't allow you to sleep on him, bro.
No, he talk too much.
No, whether it's social media, whether it's at practice, he wants the world to know that he has arrived, right? And he is probably one of the most anticipated defensive backs for the Notre Dame fan base to watch play in a long time.
Yeah, in a long time.
In a long time. Because even when Kyle Hamilton hit, Kyle Hamilton didn't really
didn't hit till his last year. He splashed that freshman year. We made that
splashed and called attention.
And then it wasn't until his last year we were like, all right, he's ready to go.
You know? Nothing sleepish about Jaden Mickey. But the trio of the sophomores, Philip Riley, Ryan Barnes, Chance Tucker.
They got to do something.
We're talking so much about Jaden Mickey and we're talking so much about Tariq Bracy and one of these guys.
One of them. I really do think it's just going to be one, though.
Yeah.
Just because of how we've been recruiting. I think only one can really pop out just because of depth situation.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Ryan Phillip because I think he has the size.
Mm-hmm.
I like his size a lot. And then you match that to what they've been recruiting with a Christian Gray, bigger dude. I think that's going to be a better fit.
Yeah.
For where they want to move forward with is bigger athletic guys like a Cam Hart, and you got a Ryan and you got a Christian. I think that's more of the fit than what Jaden is. I just think he's a special player. You know, I don't think they expected what they got from him in the spring. But when you think about you got a smaller, faster, more competitive guy.
Yeah.
More athletic, longer, guy that can handle size. I think you got everything you want. We really building a very customized defensive team, man. I think this is something that's going to be hard for teams to score points.
Yeah, and I think Coach Mickens joined us, and he talked about, the young defensive backs.
Hungry player, and with that means he wants to learn everything, and that's the great thing about it. He's eager to learn. He's eager to do extra meetings and off the field and things of that nature, where it allows him to have more success on the field, obviously, right? So I love it. I love his competitive spirit. I call him an energy provider. He's going to be the same player every day at practice where he comes in, and he just wants to compete and he wants to get better and he wants to win every rep. And at corner, that's what you want, and that's the great thing about it. You have those type of guys in the room that want to compete. That's one of our biggest things that we say in our room, that we're going to compete no matter what, and we're going to get after it. Does that mean you're going to win every rep? No. But does that mean that we have a mindset of it doesn't matter what happens, we're going to come right back at you? Yes. And that's what I love about my room. Just to see the growth over the years with them, and then you add a Mickey into it, you add a Jaden Bellamy into it, and Ben Morrison comes into the room as well, where guys just want to compete, and that's what you want about them. And that's one of the main things that I'm looking at when I recruit a corner. Like, they got to have competitive spirit. They got to have thick skin, because at the end of the day, we live on an island, and all eyes on you.
Yo, Coach Mike Mickens talking about Jay Mickey and the other youngsters in that cornerback room, that defensive back room. Look, bro, you've practiced at Notre Dame before. I don't know how much more difference in the big games, a change in the culture and the competitiveness equates to, from a point standpoint or a big play standpoint, or just a mentality. But things are different, and hopefully things will be different on the field in the biggest games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we looking to be a big game team. I think that's what we haven't been since maybe 2015, 2012, just a big game team where the feelings before were like, I ain't gonna lie. We played at Clemson, we played at Georgia, we played these top teams. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I want us to win, but I wouldn't put no money on it. Now, I'll put some money on the Ohio State game. I'll throw a couple dollars down for Ohio State game. Last year, or if we had BK and going into this, I wouldn't put no money down. I would want us to win, but I wouldn't put no money down. So this year, I think us starting fast, seeing that from the Fiesta Bowl, feeling better about where the team's headed, I feel all confident in going all in on the team in big games. Like we know not anybody, but Marcus Freeman is very capable enough to beat the teams Notre Dame is expected to win on the schedule every year. We think he's capable of that. The question is he capable for the big game, which has been the challenge for us? And I think with this first game, I think it will prove a lot.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So those are our 3 sleepers for both sides of the ball at Notre Dame. There were several, guys we probably could have put in there that are right on the edge. I think offensively we thought about Rocco Spindler. He might end up being a starter sometime during the season. He might upset Andrew Kristofic in camp. Billy Shroud, who we expect to be in the middle.
Hey, all you know is whoever's starting, they earned it. They earned it with Houston.
They definitely earned it. If you see them in the starting 5 of the offensive line,
in the baddest 5 we got, in the baddest 5.
Yeah,
we ain't thinking about no politics. Like, no, he probably deserved it. That's all we're gonna say. He probably deserved
it. Yeah. So, and you said Jaden Thomas, Deion Coles, he could have been one.
I just think the way we've been recruiting, man, it can only be a one from that group of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because we recruiting with guys that's gotta play day one, damn near. Jordan Greathouse gotta play. Gotta be something.
You get a dog like that, he had to see the field.
Tobias Merriweather, he got to get on the field. Damn near Bailey James got to get on the field. So it's like, we going to find out,
So Friday is day 1. I don't expect them to be in pads.
No.
Day 1.
Be in helmets.
But even in shorts, I just want to see Tobias Merriweather stride. I want to see if it's easy speed. Like, I want to see. I want to see movements. I know guys like Maris, Isaiah, like, but I want to see Benjamin Morrison move. Jaden Bellamy.
Another big dude.
man, I want to see him move. I've already seen the physicality and the movement of Tyson Ford and Jason Onye, right? I want to see guys like Billy Shroud. The interior, like we know how the tackles, how good they are, but I want to see the interior line. I want to see if they hold up.
Because they gonna have their money's worth.
And then, of course, we're going to be watching the accuracy, right? Because it's pretty much going to be, not really pass rush.
I don't think Tyler's the practice guy where we're going to feel confident that he's just running away with the job.
That's very similar to Tony Rice then. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to Tony Rice and the reports that were out about him in practice. But when he showed up, specifically,
I was like that. Shit, I was like that. I feel like if I was a better practice player, maybe Coach Kelly wouldn't have been such a hater. But I don't know. I do think that at the end of the day, some guys are just built like that. You know what I mean? And Tyler Buckner, I believe, has a lot of confidence in himself to where he's not putting too much stock in what he looked like in practice.
Yeah.
I feel like he's more like, man, just roll me out there and let me get right. Practice is, I don't feel like I need to go 10 for 10 to prove that I need to be out there winning a game.
Yeah.
Because I think he's more built for moments.
Yeah.
Or I think Drew is built more for keeping you in the game. Like I think Drew you're not gonna get blown out with Drew.
Right.
Necessarily. But with Tyler, I think if it's 3rd and 8, damn it, we don't have a great play call.
Yeah.
But he can get the first down.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the only difference that matters lies. And that's why we got to go with TB.
So we're going to get some of these comments and questions, bro. But then, we'll talk a little bit of recruiting before we get to the petty train. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Malik, Zaire, Shaun, Davis. Brought to you by Onora Whisky, OnoraWhisky.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. And if you drink, make sure you drink. Y'all see my boy always.
I thought you were about to drop it.
The biggest delay.
I thought you were about to come with it. Oh, he about to kill me. Okay, my bad. I got it next time.
Another person that we could have thrown on there, and I really thought about it, was Justin Adamio, because with Jason being out during the spring, Justin really took a step forward in his play.
Can he just be a freaking beast or what? Like
most of all, but rushing opposite Foskey, he's going to have opportunities, and that's the key. He's going to have opportunities. He definitely could be a sleeper. He could have been one of our 3 on defense.
Him and Jordan got opportunities out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay attention to Foskey. I believe he came back because Foskey know he can make a bigger impact probably in games. He's another year of weight, everything included. I think he's trying to explode and hopefully trying to prove that all that Will Anderson is great, but I'm pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
I know we've given a lot of credit to Will Anderson, rightfully so. I mean, shout out Will Anderson, he's nice. But Foskey, like, you know what? Damn it, I'm Foskey. Yeah. And I think this is a good opportunity for him, especially first game to put on the map. Listen, I'm first couple pick talent, just like your boy. So we in there. We in there together.
So we wanted to talk about players. And I thought about this. It was an article on ESPN recently, kind of discussing whether or not we would ever see straight to the NFL from high school, right? As talent and players get bigger and faster and stronger. NFL is a beast, bro. I'm sorry. You go sit and watch an NFL game from the sideline and then go watch a college game from the sideline. I don't care if it's SEC. I don't care if it's Clemson, Notre Dame. It's not the same. It is not the same. Just watch kickoff. Just watch kickoff. Just watch the kickoff. That's it. You don't have to watch anything else. Just watch the kickoff, and you see immediately.
It's not.
Like, this is different. This is different. But I will say this. I don't know if the NFL will be forced. There's really no leverage to force the NFL to change its 3-year rule. But gosh darn it, you let one of these dudes, Jalen Smith is a perfect example. Jalen Smith could have been in the NFL after year 2.
After year 1. After year 1.
First round pick easy. Will Anderson could have been, dude, if Aiden Hutchinson went top 5, I know Will Anderson would have been top 5 last year.
Because you got to think, some of these guys coming out after 3 or 4 years still regular.
Right.
Like, and the thing is, too, is that this is not a draft full of 20 high schoolers.
Right.
We talking a Jadeveon Clowney, a Leonard Fournette, these are the type of one and dones, especially running backs. I think the earlier Saquon should have left after he popped off against USC in the Rose Bowl. Go ahead. You got the quads, the tree trunks already. Derek Stingley, after that freshman year, winning a championship with LSU, should have left.
Lamar.
Like,
why are you bringing him back to Louisville with that team?
The
only thing that can happen is he gets hurt.
Yeah, maybe it should just be an appeal process. Maybe be like, look, NFL can look at your tape and be like, all right, you're ready. That's good.
Or they can say, if you are indeed a first round pick by the evaluators,
I think it should be 1 year rule. I do think it should be a 1 year rule just to see the tape.
Right. And
just
see the tape. Then you wouldn't have. Then Jamar Chase is in the league. Instead of sitting out and wasting a year, he's in the league. Because I don't blame him for not being able to go back and play for that LSU team.
And you know what it would do? Help recruiting.
Yes.
It would thin the numbers out better. I would have supported if I was Jack Swarbrick. Like, hell yeah, we could tell Keon, look, just 1 year, it don't even matter.
And a kid like Malachi Nelson is really not tripping because he knows Caleb is probably gone after this year. So he's not thinking, I have to wait behind Caleb. He's saying, look.
If we had a 1 year rule, we'll be unfair because they'll be like, oh, we don't have to worry about the school. Oh, yeah, we do a year.
Yeah.
We'll get Richard Young. We get all them. 1 year, man. Just come on.
I saw Aiden Hutchinson yesterday on the NFL Network. He's looking real small, bro.
Like, and it's funny because he's looking real small around the people that he's supposed to be running around as a first round talent.
I just hope his legs stay healthy because I don't want him to have a bad career. That's not. No. I just felt like Will Anderson deserved to be in New York and he didn't.
That's all we
saying.
It really ain't got nothing to do with Aiden.
No.
It's just he was the place of which we thought somebody else should have been in.
So
he making some money. He better be out there sacking everything.
You saw Jalen Smith, it was like, okay, this dude is different.
It wasn't even. It was like he's put his jersey up. He's good. You don't have to practice. But the thing, like, I think it's possible for sure. It's definitely possible. You see some of them dudes now in college, you're like, golly.
Yeah.
You're a grown man at 20 years old, 19 years old. So,
right.
If anything, NFL teams would like it because they going younger anyway. You don't see no old dudes in the league like that.
Yeah.
So, I think it would benefit both sides. I think, if anything, they're not doing it because they can't figure out a way to monetize it the best.
Yeah.
But on a business level, I would, of course, lower it to 1 year. Basketball is a little different just because the teams are smaller. So I feel like it would be harder to do it because you're like, damn, we got a nice little squad over here in Brooklyn. And there's a draft every year, and we don't want to just let Kyrie, Kevin Durant go. You know what I'm saying? So you're stack on top of each other. So I think for football, though, the way they do dudes now, they might as well lower it to one because you got all these other leagues too. So they go 1 year, let's say, boom, they don't like it, they get put down on the feeder team in the XFL or something. So
Yeah,
there's
you're right.
ways to do it.
Yeah, I think specifically, we can go to Notre Dame and end it right here. There was so much put on Kyron Williams to carry the Notre Dame offense over the previous 2 seasons. I totally understand why he didn't come back.
Yeah.
Especially with the career expectancy for running backs in the NFL being as short as it is anyway. He had a lot of carries on his body. Right? And then he goes and he gets hurt in the offseason. And it's like, if a running back like Bijan Robinson could leave after last year, he should be able to go.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Let him go.
He should be able to go. He's ready for the league. He's ready for the league, right? You look at Christian McCaffrey. He was ready to go after his 2nd year. He comes back for the 3rd year and is full of injuries. And
that carried on with him ever since.
And his NFL career has been full of injuries, man. At some point, yes. At some points, and especially for running backs. Look
at Josh. Josh was broken down by the time we got rid of him.
Heck yeah. Zeke is broken down.
Zeke broken down.
After the Cowboys rolled him the way they rolled him the first 2 years.
But they gave him $50 million though, so it's all right.
Oh, that definitely makes you feel better.
That's all right. They gave $50 million.
No complaints. No complaints.
Them 2 years earned it. Yeah, you earned them 2 years.
Heck yeah, man. Let's watch a little film. Talk some recruiting as we get ready to go on the way out. And, let's talk about Ben Minich, Ohio safety. And Notre Dame's looking at this kid. They just offered him. And bro, when you look at him, I just don't know. I don't know. That's all I can say. I really don't know. He's one of the best safeties in Ohio. He does things on offense and defense.
He definitely looked fast as hell, though.
He could be one of those glue guys, right?
See, this is how guys like J.D. Bertrand get picked up. Where you're like, I don't really know, but they're active. They just an active football player. You like, man, that's, it's like you may not be the flour or the sugar or the best parts of the cake, but damn it, you that egg that you got to start off with, that you got to start to whip everything into. And this is one of those guys that he's not going to be the best player on the defense.
That's what I'm saying. But he's important. I'm not trying to.
He's going to do stuff like Matthias. That's a Matthias right there. You like, damn.
Nakobe Dean might have been the worst athlete in the front 7 for Georgia. Fact. And his draft stock shows that.
Yeah, he's a 4th rounder.
But there was no one more important on that defense than Nakobe Dean for the Georgia Bulls.
No, there was nobody more important. Nobody more important.
So, like, when you look at these guys and you look at their film, it was like somebody got popped.
I don't even want to look at it. Just know that if y'all thought he was good enough, then that means that he's going to be somewhere where he's going to pop up on a play or two in the season where I'm like flipping through the roster. Oh, I remember him. Other than that, we're not going to see him on the cover of Irish Illustrated.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing.
I talked to someone and they flat out said the comp was Drew Tranquil.
Drew Tranquil in the league.
And you have to remember, Drew, when he first came in, was a safety. He was a bigger safety, but he was a safety.
He was always a linebacker, but he came in as a safety.
Good athleticism at that safety position. And once he got hurt, with the knee injuries, then it was like, okay, we're just gonna move you down to linebacker.
I hope he's not a Kurt Hinish type of player.
He's making a decision soon. If he chooses Notre Dame, then the 23 class just gets better. That's all.
That's all. It just gets better.
Look, Dylan Edwards, in my opinion, Kansas State, Oregon. I think Georgia's trying to come in late. Notre Dame is trending. We went over this.
Like that, we don't have a plan for, though. A guy like Edwards, we don't really have a plan for. It's more like you got a bunch of good looks on paper that would add to a team, but he's a guy that's got to go somewhere where we're like, man, our offense is around you.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
You got a bunch of guys like that, Chris Tyree and all the other ones. So it's like, we'll steal you from somebody.
Yeah. But like you said, that initial clip, you were like, oh, man, he can run a little bit.
He can run, yeah.
He can run a little bit. So,
But it all just goes back to getting on Tommy's head. Tommy, you better make that plate good now. You done got
he plays both sides of the ball, which lets you know he's a pretty good athlete. And respectfully, it is Ohio football. So
it's top of the top.
Ohio top of the top now. Come on.
Ohio football is not going to wow you with a bunch of guys running a 4-1 or one-handed catches, but when you look at Ohio film, you're watching master technicians, master football players, that the guys you can always count on. When you say it needs 11 guys to win a football game, 10 of them are from Ohio that make it work most of the time. And then you got the one outlier, the one superstar, the guy from Cali or Florida, whatever. But
I just had to. Your head was getting a little bit too big. I just had to bring you down a little bit, bro. I had to bring you down a little bit. I'm sorry.
That is so funny.
Here you go. You were saying, what were you saying again? I'm sorry, bro. What were you saying?
Hey, all we know is Braxton Miller is the best Ohio State quarterback ever. So I'm just saying, Ohio's got some great guys.
Lucky Lefty podcast. I have to give him his Ohio moment like every show. He finds a way to talk about Ohio in some way, form, or fashion. Jaden Osbury, his commitment is going to come up this weekend, as I told LL Nation on yesterday.
We've been recruiting him the longest, though.
Yeah, tough decision for the kid. A lot of connections to programs, brother at Auburn, father at LSU, wanting to stay close to family, stay in the South. The love he has for Notre Dame and the class and the coaching staff is, tough decision for a 17-year-old. Tough decision. We'll see. But as Notre Dame fans, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Me personally. That would
no. I mean, look, I'm not losing sleep on anything 23. I think we
sleep very peacefully. Sleep very peacefully. And in my opinion, sleep very peacefully about Dylan Edwards and his decision coming up.
Yeah, I mean, shoot.
That's it. 23 class might be another mini Avalanche coming. That's all I'm going to say.
All I'm going to say.
Might be another mini Avalanche coming like there was in June. We might have like the aftershock of all of that coming right before this high school season starts around the country. So should be an amazing, amazing time for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish fall camp recruiting going on into September the 3rd. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, pettiest stories of the day. Brought to you by Onora Whisky, OnoraWhisky.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. And if you drink, make sure that you drink
responsibly. You heard?
Oh, my boy, Irv Gotti. I got to put him on the
on Drink Champs?
I can get past you wanting to be with Nelly.
Sounds like you didn't get past that. I'm just being honest.
Listen. At the time it happens, any man,
yeah, of course,
is her.
Yeah, right.
The chick you fucking are in love with is with this
country grandma.
You wanna hear how I found out?
How you found out?
only on Drink Champ. It's on the documentary too.
Yeah. How did you find out, sir?
I was at home.
And there wasn't no Twitter or Instagram back then.
I was at home. Okay. Listen to this shit. This is God wanted me to find out. I was at home. NBA package. I like watching sports. Oh my God, what's this commotion going on in the stadium? We just found out what the commotion is. Nelly has walked in with Ashanti.
Oh, shit. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. I don't, that's what Drink Champ in the interview. Man, look, bro, we've all been hurt.
Don't do that.
We've all been hurt before. But Irv is too damn old, bro.
Going outside. That's sad.
I had to use the word, but
let it go.
You're too darn old, bro. Too old.
He said like it happened yesterday.
Still be talking about Nelly and Ashanti, bro.
Ashanti went 3-4 boyfriends after that. She way up.
And then I'm gonna take it. Why are you in love with this chick, man?
Ashanti, right? Oh no, whoa.
No, bro. You don't. They always told me you don't where you eat. You don't do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What is he tripping?
I don't have a problem if you're doing your thing.
No.
But that in love stuff, bro, like, nah, man.
Too deep, man. I got another petty train.
Go ahead, man.
Richard Young. You just committed. How can you try to flip when you just got there?
Jalen and Barkaway too.
What? Y'all just got there. Y'all wasn't that confident in them until it's almost over. So what are you gonna flip? You barely committed Kevin Durant. Come on, man. What are you talking about? You are the best running back in the class. Cool. But you committing at the end, talking like you're the lead flipper. How? We don't believe you. Go ahead and go to Alabama. Fine. But this whole, man, listen. No, we're not going for that. How are you so committed when you just got there? So, Keon make the good decision.
Look, in the NFL, once again, you know why? Just stand on the fact that it's all about the money and the cover-up, right? There was a cover-up of information in the proceedings with the arbitrator. You pulled testimony. You didn't want to enter it because you didn't want certain things to get out to mess things up, thinking that you could get a year from the arbitrator. And the arbitrator still gave Deshaun 6 games instead of a year. Then the next day, it comes out that you halfway believe Brian Flores. Brian Flores pulls and exposes Stephen Ross and the Dolphins. You believe half of the story that deals with tampering and talking to Drew Brees and Tom Brady or Sean Payton. We believe that part, but there's no evidence to say or that shows that he was purposely tanking. Dude, the Chicago Bears are tanking this year. They are literally tanking. NFL teams tank all the time. But you don't want it to get out the NFL teams tank. They do it all the time, every year.
Look
Teams
at
tank.
Buffalo. They
The
freaking believe
Jacksonville
in Josh Allen.
Jaguars tanked to get Trevor Lawrence. They tanked.
Oh, yeah, they tanked for sure. For
It's
sure.
like, what are we doing?
They ain't trying to tank now, but they was tanking in.
Dude, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Yeah, the Texans
NFL,
tanking.
dude, NFL is horrible, man.
Y'all think the Texans ain't tanking for this year? This
Thank
draft
you.
class?
Thank you.
They looking at their quarterbacks, man.
They're not trying to ride with Davis Mills.
Yeah. Davis Mills applied through LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's how he got the quarterback job. He applied through
Yes.
LinkedIn. There was an opening internship that turned into a full-time position.
The Texans
That's
are
how he
very
does it.
interested in drafting a quarterback, a talented quarterback that can lead their team and not make masseuse reservations outside of the team facility.
See, you taking it too far.
That's all I'm saying.
That has nothing to do with football.
And Bryce Young fits the bill. CJ Stroud fits the bill.
You taking it.
You don't need Instagram to make a reservation for a massage. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, when you're
two good options in this draft.
When you're very rich, you have equal opportunity employment where you're trying to support small businesses.
Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again, man. Here we go again. Don't do that.
See, the question is they shouldn't be talking about comparisons to Deshaun and like Calvin Ridley and all the weed suspensions. They should do the comparison for Robert Kraft and Deshaun. Why didn't Robert Kraft get 6 games? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just give Robert Kraft 6 games, then we can call it even and we can move on.
Robert Kraft made that disappear real fast. Robert Kraft made that.
That's the comparison they need to make. Was this as harsh as Robert Kraft's one? That's probably why the prosecutor made it what she did. She was like, you know what? Y'all didn't charge Robert Kraft for nothing. So we can't even, I'm gonna get on Deshaun head, but good grief, what y'all want me to do? Y'all ain't even give him, y'all ain't give him nothing. So that's the comparison.
And my whole thing is Brian Flores comes out with the evidence, lawsuit, states his case. The next day, the NFL is like, these allegations are false, and this is not what our teams are about and our organizations are about. We doubt very seriously. Then the next thing you know, oh, this is true. Oh, you did bring Tom Brady to a boat. Oh, you were talking to the agent of Sean Payton while he was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Oh, Brian Flores gave us paperwork of people inside the offices, in the front office, saying, yes, there was a request to tank that Brian Flores said no to. And despite that evidence, you only go halfway and say, no, we found no evidence of tanking.
It's
Bro, I can give you the 3 NFL teams that are going to tank this year. Right now.
Season start.
One is the Chicago Bears.
Buffalo, Chicago.
Buffalo is not tanking. What are you talking about, man? What?
As long as they got Josh, they trying
You
to
need to stop with this infatuation with Josh Allen, bro. Stop it.
No, it's because they trying to say he's top 3 in the league right now. Like, no, we're not. No. But we can tell them right now the Texans are tanking for sure. The Bears are tanking for sure. And who else? I would say who would you say the third team? The Texans for sure. The Bears for sure.
Dude, Jacksonville might still be in tank mode.
Well, if that's the case, then the Eagles are going to tank.
Jacksonville is rumored to be the second team moving to Chicago if the Bears move out to the suburbs. I mean, their owner is from Chicago. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Super chat, Matt 2011.
In the chat, the Jets are tank.
Finally catching a live channel support. We appreciate you, my brother. Ryan Loftus, super sticker. Day one, we appreciate you. These comments, if Buckner wins against Ohio State, will he have a Heisman performance?
You have to.
All right.
There's just no other way around it.
Shaun Green, NFL player self-interest is to not have kids coming out of high school to the NFL so they can get vested in the union. Plus, there's very few high schoolers that are ready for the rigors of the NFL.
Yeah, that's why we say only like 3 or 4 guys from the NFL that would even be possible.
Yeah. How do y'all think Freeman will approach playing the freshmen? Will they get significant tick or just play in spots? This is the first time I think maybe at wide receiver there is like an urgency because of the numbers, but dude, the linebacking class doesn't have to play a down. They just flat out don't have to. Cornerbacks, they're going to play because of the numbers. Just strictly because of the numbers. The offensive line that come in, the freshmen that come in. Billy Shrouf, if he gets on the field, he's earned it. We got 2 more left. Do you think the cohesiveness of the coaching staff this year compared to previous years will help compensate for the lack of experience? I mean, the coaching staff in totality is going to work together.
Anytime you got good coaches, it makes it better experience.
And Catfish Kelly's Dirty Plunger. That's a fantastic name, yo. Mickey should definitely be considered a sleeper. He's a true freshman. And although we are extremely excited, national scene in Ohio State about to find out about him game 1, practice isn't game, Well, our reasoning for him not being a sleeper had nothing to do for practice. It's the fact that there's nothing quiet about him.
He don't want to be known as a sleeper.
Nobody's sleeping on him. He's let the entire world know who he is. Dude, no, there's nothing synonymous with sleeper when it comes to Jay Mickey. No. It's just not. It's just not. But we appreciate you, Catfish Kelly's Dirty Plunger, for listening and participating and being a part of LL Nation this morning. Don't forget, Friday, 10:30 a.m., special announcement, big news. The Lucky Lefty podcast, we spin it. So, for this dude, the original Lucky Lefty, I'm Shaun Davis. We hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget, share, hit the notification bell. Most of all, hit that like button. Hit the like button and let us know what you think about the podcast. If you respond after the show, we will respond to your comments. Have a fantastic day, but most of all, make sure that you spend it different. We'll see you tomorrow for another great episode.